So ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
And go.
Okay, so I'm Simon Alvarez. I'm a BS psychology major, minoring in painting, sort of. And I'm working on writing and movies and art and music. I'm actually part of Bell Tower for March. And, I forgot what I was going to say. But I'm working on all of these things. Now, the first movie I'm going to talk about is relatively obscure. Actually, no, it's one of the more popular movies by Park Chan-wook. And this is my all-time favorite movie. Like right now, some people find it weird. It's actually my feel-good movie. That might be a bit weird because for those of you who haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. Once again, Old Boy. It was based on a manga by Nobuaki Minegishi and Garen. I have notes. It's a really good movie about a man who was imprisoned and he has no idea why. So for the rest of the movie, you're trying to find out why. Really interesting movie for those of you who haven't seen it. Okay, now some of you probably might disagree with this. This is X-Men Days of Future Past. Now the reason I put this here is because I really love this movie. It clears up all the other previous movies that were, you know, generally crap. And this movie is just like incredibly amazing. You just get all the feels. And okay, the next one directed by Quentin Tarantino and has some of the best actors that you could ever get. And what I really enjoy about this movie is that it's very character driven. It's less about the story actually, it's more about the characters because they're all really interesting. It focuses on conversations that next movie is like the movie. Now, the reason I put this movie in here is it's a really fun movie with an especially touching lesson at the very end. It really interested me, especially as an artist, because the amount of work it takes to do stop motion animation on movies is incredible. Now the next movie is a movie some of you may have heard of. It is probably the most depressing movie I've ever seen. And it's 4 hours long by Nav Diaz. And this movie left me scarred for days. It's Norte Hangganan ng Kasaysayan, the end of history, the death of history, something like that. It's a very beautiful movie, and if you haven't seen it, you really should. The movie, a lot of people get the idea that it's about crime, but personally I feel like it's about a lack of redemption, about how life generally is unfair and that you have to live through it. Now the reason I like this movie, it's one of the very first movies that I illegally downloaded. And I really enjoy this movie because there's so much comic relief in it, and I got the opportunity to actually read the comics, and it's really well done. Next movie is a very inspiring movie again. This is called Yes Man, and I really enjoyed this movie because once again there is another lesson in this movie, and it really helps you live life, generally. If you watch this movie, you get to learn things about life, about how it's easier to move forward if you have these things. This movie, I don't know if it's obvious by the image, from the maker, Christopher Nolan, director of the Batman trilogy. I really enjoyed this movie because of the soundtrack. The composer was Hans Zimmer, who did the same music on Inception. He did the music on the Batman trilogy. Now this guy is like a flippin' genius, alright? Straight up, like on the Inception theme song, can't remember it right now. But what he did is he slowed it down. And then, do you know that music at Inception, like that music? He slowed it down, that's what he got. This movie, a lot of people actually hate. But it's a cult favorite. I love this movie because of its artistic style. The title of this movie is entitled Bunraku. It was made by Guy Mosh, and it was based on a story by Boaz Davidson. And it is pretty racist, but it's like I really enjoy this movie. You probably shouldn't watch it if you're not into action, but it has it's like really interesting movie. The style of it is bunraku. Bunraku is like this Japanese puppet theater, and then it bases it on that. Now this movie, for those of you who can't tell from the image, It is entitled Across the Universe. And the entire soundtrack is the Beatles. It's a really beautiful movie, and the music just gets you pumping. It's just like such a good movie, written by Nick Clement, Ian Lefranais, and it was directed by Julie Taymor, yeah, and she did the Lion King musical. She did Frida, for those who have seen it. Can I breathe a moment? Anyway, it's a really good movie for those who haven't seen it. You should probably watch it also. In fact, watch all the movies on this list. They're amazing. Okay, I'm gonna do like a bunch of special exceptions because it said 10 movies I die for. These are other movies that you should like get to watching. There are a lot of beautiful movies from Walt Disney, and if you aren't really into Disney movies, you should probably watch Waking Sleeping Beauty, which we showed during the movie. I should probably say right now, sorry to disappoint, I didn't put Star Wars and Lord of the Rings because I didn't have enough slides, but I put in Harry Potter because this is such a childhood favorite. It's just like, I read the books and everything, and then Dumbledore died. The next movie is the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy because we don't talk about the fourth movie. For those of you who don't know, the fifth movie is actually being written right now, and I'm horrified. But this movie is like incredible. This guy, director Wes Anderson, for those of you who haven't seen his movies, he is an OC dream. All of his movies are so cleanly shot. I mean, Moonrise Kingdom, Great Budapest Hotel, the